Hello class, today we're looking at how to find the slope from 2 points. Last class period we looked at how to find the slope from a graph, and this time we're going to look at the slope formula and how to apply it. The essential question, how do I apply the slope formula? The learning intention, I'm learning to find the slope of a line from 2 points. So you've got a warm-up, it says find the slope of this line. Pause the video and see if you can do that on your own. Well, I hope you tried. Let's look at where this goes through the corner of 2 boxes. It goes through the corner here and it goes through the corner here. So as we are counting, remember we create that right triangle. Slope is rise over run. First thing you do, look, it goes down. That means it is a negative slope. I look at that right triangle I've created and I start counting. 1, 2, 3. So I would go down 3. Now count to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this slope is a negative 3 over 5. To find the slope of any line from 2 points, or find the slope of the line that connects any 2 points, your formula is y sub 2 minus y sub 1 over x sub 2 minus x sub 1. The subscripts just tell you that those are coming from the same point. Those just identify which point you're using. And you can call any point 1 and any point 2 that you need to. So let's find the slope that connects these 2 points. So the difference of what I always have my students do is delta y over delta x. Delta is a Greek word for the change in, the difference of. So let's start applying that formula. Step 1 is to identify the x and the y coordinates. So I'm going to call this one x sub 2, y sub 2, x sub 1, y sub 1. So as I do my slope, the change in y over the change in x. Y is 5 and 25. 5 minus 25 over. The x's are 2 and 10. 2 minus 10. 5 minus 25, they're opposite signs, so I find their difference and keep the sign of the larger. 25 minus 5 is 20. The negative is the larger, so it's negative 20. Same thing again, I find my difference. 10 minus 2 is 8. Keep the sign of the larger. That makes it a negative 8. Okay, it's a fraction. As with all fractions, if you can simplify, you have to do that. So I know that both of them have a factor of 4. So I'm going to divide the top by 4, and I'm going to divide the bottom by 4. Negative divided by negative is a positive. 20 divided by 4 is 5. 8 divided by 4 is 2. And the slope is 5/2, or 5 over 2. We do not change that to a compound number. We want that fraction because that tells us I go up 5 units and I go right 2 units. Okay, step 1. Identify your x's and your y's. Okay, I always show my students to go from left to right. It makes it easier. You read from left to right. You're used to moving from left to right. That will keep you from forgetting which point you started on. So let's look at this one. Same thing again. Your slope is equal to the change in y over the change in x. Negative 19 minus negative 7. Even though the 7 is negative, I still am subtracting. 1 minus negative 2. Because this brings us to another point of math. Do you subtract the negative? No, you add the positive. Negative 19 plus 7 over 1 plus 2. Okay, they are opposite signs, so I find their difference. 19 minus 7 is 12. Which number is larger? Well, the 19 is, so I keep the negative sign. 1 plus 2 is 3. Once again, I have a fraction, but this time it turns out it is actually a whole number. Negative 12 divided by 3 is negative 4. Okay, so that would be a slope of negative 4 means negative 4 over 1. So I go down 4 and right 1 if I'm on the graph. Okay, we'll do one more together, and then I want you to pause the video and see if you can do the last one on your own. Start out by identifying x sub 2, y sub 2, x sub 1, y sub 1. So my slope is delta y over delta x, which is equal to 3 minus 3 over 19 minus 20. 3 minus 3 is 0. At this point, I know what the answer is. Okay, 19 minus 20, your opposite signs. Subtract, keep the sign of the larger. 20 is larger, so 20 minus 19 is 1. It makes it a negative 1. So this is a slope of 0. Okay, I want you to think about a slope of 0. If I have a slope of 0, that means that whatever my line is, it's not going up and it's not going down. It's not going up, it's not going down. So it's perfectly horizontal. So this would, anytime you see a slope of 0, remember it's not going up, it's not going down. This would be a horizontal line. Okay, pause the video and see if you can do the next one on your own. Well, I hope you tried. This would be x sub 2, y sub 2, x sub 1, y sub 1. Remember, my slope is the change in y over the change in x. Okay, y is negative 13 minus 8. X is 17 minus 17. Okay, so negative 13 minus 8 more is negative 21 over 0. Okay, now this looks almost like the last one, except this time the 0 is in the denominator, not in the numerator. How does that change it? Can I have parts of nothing? A fraction is how many parts out of the total number you have. Can I have something if I have nothing to begin with? No. This is undefined. Okay, so the 0 is in opposite places. If it's 0, slope means a horizontal line. What would kind of be the opposite of a horizontal line? What would kind of be the opposite of a horizontal line? Vertical lines. Okay, on the next one, we're going to actually find the slope of these two lines, and then we're going to look at how to write the equation. Step 1, identify 2 points. So this would be 1, 2, 3, 0. I can pick any point on the line. It doesn't matter which one. So I'm going to pick this one here, and that would be 3, 2. The change in y over the change in x. So that gives me 0 minus 2 over 3 minus 3, negative 2 over 0, that is undefined. You cannot divide by 0. Okay, now let's look at all the points. This is 3, 0, 3, 1, 3, 2, 3, 3, 3, negative 1, 3, negative 2. What value is not changing, your x or your y values? Your x value. So this equation is x equals 3. Because your x value is always going to be 3. It doesn't matter what your y value is. As long as you have 3 with another number, then you are good. So let's look at that's your vertical line. Vertical line means undefined slope because we cannot divide by 0. And it means x is equal to a single number. So let's look at the other one. This point would be 5, 0. Or 0, 5 actually. I got that one wrong. This one would be 3, 5. This one would be 5, 5. Negative 2, 5. Negative 5, 5. That first number tells you how far away from the origin you're going. The second one tells you you're going to go up 5 units. So this is x sub 2, y sub 2, x sub 1, y sub 1. Apply the formula. You're looking at the change in y over the change of x. 5 minus 5 over 0 minus 3. 0 over negative 3, and that gives me a slope of 0. Okay, so as I'm looking, this one is 0, 5. This one is 3, 5. 5, 5. 6, 5. Negative 2, 5. What value never ever changes? The y value. So in this case, y will always be equal to 5. So look at the difference. A 0 slope, your equation will be y equals. Undefined slope, your equation will be x equals. Vertical and horizontal lines are kind of like opposites. X and y are what they are. So remember, label your x and y coordinates and then substitute them into the equation. Always simplify your fraction and you're done. I know I'm successful when I can find the slope of a line using a graph or 2 points. So right now we're working on slope. We're going to look at slope and where it's located on different equations on our next class period. So we're going to look at delta y over delta x, rise over run. These are all different ways you can see slope explained.